Welcome to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, and happy Mother's Day. I am grateful, grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we made, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful, grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we made, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful, so grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we made, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful, grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we made, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. Yes, the love of God is here.
Thank you, Alan and Idella. And welcome to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reverend Jean Bell. My pronouns are they, she, and her, and I am so glad that you're joining us today. If you're viewing on Facebook or YouTube Live, please like and share our broadcast so we can continue to spread the good news of New Thought out into the world. Happy Mother's Day to all of you parents. Happy Parents' Day. Anybody that has a child, whether they're an adult child or a fur baby, this is your day. Well, actually, every day is your day. We know that, yes? Amen. All right, if you're here for the first time, please see a welcome usher in the hallway for a gift, especially for you. All right, I'm going to read through the affirmation. Maybe I'm not. Oh, there it is. I'm going to read through the affirmation, and then I'm going to invite you to say it with me. All right? I honor the power of my voice as an expression of the divine within me. I speak my truth with clarity, courage, and compassion. My words create, heal, and uplift, bringing liberation to myself and others. Ah, that's beautiful. All right, all together now with one voice. I honor the power of my voice as an expression of the divine within me. I speak my truth with clarity, courage, and compassion. My words create, heal, and uplift, bringing liberation to myself and to others. And so it is. Please welcome Mally Lapete with the announcements.
Thank you so much. Hello, all you mothering New Thought mothers, or those who mother, all you mothers of New Thought. How about that? My name is Mally Lapete. I have a mother. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve on the creative arts team here at SLCA. If this is your first time, be sure and introduce yourself to one of our welcome team in the lobby or in the online chat. We have so many great opportunities to grow, serve, connect, and give right here at SLCA. For more information, scan the QR code found on the monitor. Visioning, that's the first announcement, is vital to the sustainability of SLCA. Join our practitioner, Nana, today during our 5 o'clock hour as she leads our community in a vision for SLCA. This will take place every second Sunday, and we would love for you to join us. Reverend Jean invites you to join her every second Sunday during our 5 o'clock hour, which is today. and discover the basic ideas of the science of mind. This is a perfect opportunity to refresh members about the especially designed help. Start over. Why am I nervous? This is a perfect refresher class for members and is especially designed to help newcomers understand the basic principles of the science of mind and spirit philosophy. You'll learn how to use these principles to enhance your personal well-being and live a more fulfilling and fulfilled life. Yeah. The gathering is back. After a long break, Reverend Susan Zoller is thrilled to join with you and other SLCA members as we share the wisdom of Ernest Holmes for the 365 Science of Mind daily affirmation readings. This book gives us a whole year of wisdom and spiritual jewels for each day of the year. In the gathering, we get to discuss how this wisdom applies to our daily lives and how it can help us to spiritually grow. Register today and connect with Reverend Susan on Zoom Wednesday, May 14th at 6:30 Eastern. SLCA practitioner Tony Jenkins is here today, and he's ready to answer any questions you have about spirituality next Sunday also at 5 p.m. Perhaps you have been curious about certain spiritual practices but have few opportunities to discuss it with like-minded people. Every third Sunday, Tony leads a discussion group exploring topics that may be hard to talk about with your friends and your family. This is one of the most popular workshops, so if you have not joined in yet, check it out. 2 more. We're excited to announce we'll be working with the Toco Hills Community Alliance to do our first mobile food pantry along with UUCA right here on campus. This pantry will take place on May 23rd. Volunteers will set up the mobile food pantry and bag the products. From 10 to noon, we will serve the community those products and smiles and love. With cleanup, we should be done by 12:30. Shifts are available from 8:30 to 12:30. Speak with a member of our staff to let us know your intent to join us. And now, the last announcement. Thank you for joining us today. That's not an announcement, that's an affinity. That's a honor. We look forward to visiting with you after the service in the social hall for food and fellowship. Just a reminder, our menu has changed. The first Sunday will be potluck, always. The second and fourth Sunday, 2, 4, will be cake and coffee. And the third Sunday will be a full meal. Please be sure to speak with at least 2 people you don't know today. We love you. Thank you.
I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer,
I speak my word. I speak out into the universe. As I go deep within to the depths of my soul, this is what comes up, because this is what I know. I know that God is all there is. There's nothing else. One spirit, one mind, one God. And this spirit goes in and through me as me for me to demonstrate all of it out into the universe. I stand here knowing the truth of my being, that I am made flesh, God in flesh. I am God in human form, and I just allow that to be, because God consciously works through me as me. My conscience is open and receptive to all that it is, and I am one with it. God is, I am, one in universal mind. I stand here knowing that this day is blessed, this service is blessed, this place is blessed, because God is here always, never leaves. Spirit surrounds everyone in this sanctuary. Everyone that is on live streaming. We give thanks. God, I feel that energy pulsating through my entire being, saying, I am all that there is. I can do, I can be, I can have all that I desire. I have the thought, I speak the words, and I vision and see the outcome manifesting in front of me. Because I know that this is my truth, as it is everyone's truth in this sanctuary and live streaming. Speak the word. Lift your voice. Raise your voice and say, God is, I am one. And just feel that energy just surging through you. Oh God, my God, my God, I give thanks. I'm grateful for all that I have, all that is coming, all that I am, and all that I'm becoming. I'm grateful for this breath of life that God breathes through me. God, thank you. I'm grateful for this center, Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I'm grateful for everyone that makes this service happen. The practitioners, the ministers, everyone, the congregation, everyone, I give thanks. I have spoken these words with power, authority, and I release these words and join with me in saying, and so it is. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I go right here and now. I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through me.
Thank you. Thank you, Al, for that beautiful treatment. Now is our opportunity for grateful giving. This is a wonderful community that continues to spread the good news of New Thought out into the world. And it is in existence for 46 years because of its members, of its friends, all of you here in the sanctuary, and all of you that are across the country viewing, whether you're viewing now or you view later. It is because of you we are here. And this message is ever so vital. The message of New Thought heals, it uplifts, and it continues to bring forth goodness in the world. And we have so many ways of giving. You can give text to Tide, and you see the number there, 404-800-9467, or you can go to our website, slca.com/donations. Or you can scan the QR code and give, or the old-fashioned way. You can put some cash in the box or a check. I am a pledger, so my monthly donation comes out automatically. But however you decide to give, thank you. Thank you for trusting and knowing that SLCA is worthy of your tithes. Would the ushers please go forth?
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have.
Join me as I bless these offerings, knowing that Spirit is the source and substance for all things, for our abundance, for our love, for our peace, and for our joy. I bless these offerings, and I bless the hands and the hearts of those who have given now and continue to give to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And so it is. Thank you so much. And now I would love to introduce Wanda Nero Butler, and accompanying her on piano, John Bennett. And they will be singing Love Lifted Me. Please welcome them.
Good afternoon. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Yes, everyone. There's a divine feminine in everyone. There's the will or the spirit to nurture in everyone. Today, I just want to share a Mother's Day story, a story about my mom, and I honor her and other mothers with this story. When I was a kid, she worked very hard. She would get up in the morning and she'd go clean a couple of houses, and then she would leave there, and she was the brush girl at Saks Fifth Avenue in the salon. So she would go there and do that. Then after that, my father owned and operated a restaurant, a dry cleaners, a laundry, so she could pick her choice what job to do next. So she would do that. And then at the end of the day, we had Wednesday night service, Tuesday night service, Wednesday night Bible class, Thursday night choir rehearsal, and then Friday night deliverance service. And that's not to speak of Sunday morning. So she would come home at the end after she come from the cafe, and she'd get into church, and she would just kind of plop down in her seat, and she'd sit a few minutes to get her breath as the service was going on. And at that time, we had testimony service. Shannon, you know about testimony service. That's a Pentecostal thing. But somewhere during that service, she would muster up enough strength to throw her head back, and she said, "Love lifted me," the love of family. Love lifted me, the love of her husband who was the bishop, when nothing else could help, 'cause I'm so tired. But love lifted me. Love lifted me. When I got in here and felt the love of God, love lifted me. When nothing else would or could help, love lifted me. Then she would feel her strength. Now, we were a po church. We didn't have a full drum set. But my mother learned how to play a chair. She played a washboard, and she played a chair. And somewhere, she got the strength to pick up a beat. And she would take 2 wire hangers and the little metal folding chair. We don't happen to have that today. And she would go, "Love lifted me, love lifted me, when nothing else could help. Love lifted me, love lifted me, hey, love lifted me, when nothing else could help. Love lifted me." Woo! Here's a new one for you. Love always gives back. Love always gives back. When nothing else could help, love gives back. Love gives back. Love gives back. Hey, when nothing else can help, love always gives. Love gives back. Hey, last time, love lifted me. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. Oh, when nothing else could help, love lifted me. Love lifted me. Hey, love lifted me. Yeah, when nothing else could help, love lifted. Oh, love lifted me. Hey! Woo!
OMG. Is that all? I know that was enough, but is that all? Or can you sing another song? Love lifted me. Amen. All right, so you're not supposed to take me back to my old Pentecostal and Baptist days. You can't be doing that now. Because, woo, okay. Hi, y'all. I got memories. I got memories of a full course band and choir and a gigantic church, an old movie theater auditorium. Ooh, we would praise God up in there. And even though I didn't like half the things the preacher was saying, I loved the music. Love the music. I'm New Thought now, but there's still something up in there. Okay, happy Mother's Day again. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Reverend Jean Bell. I'm the Associate Minister here. And I also want to remind you that it is also May, which is Mental Health Month. And it is so important that we take care of our mental health. We have to make it our top priority, especially in this world today. And there's so many ways that stress can just creep into our lives. And so let's be mindful of how to alleviate that stress. Let's be mindful of our spiritual practices, exercising, eating right. Go see a practitioner, a clinician, whatever it is that you need to do. Take care of yourself. Being in community is one way of taking care of yourself. I know that my wife is always telling me, girl, sit down. Just sit down. I'm a doer. I like to do. I'm like, I got to fix it. I got to paint it. I got to garden it, rake it, hoe it, cut the grass. She's like, sit down. Sit down. But anyway, this month's theme is Raise Your Voice. And Reverend David so beautifully started us off last Sunday with a talk which he titled The Art of Self-Advocacy. If you were here, wonderful. I know you were inspired by it, but if you did not hear it, go to our website and listen to it. It is a powerful talk. Now, today, I want to talk to you about our internal and external voices and how they play a role in our spiritual practices. One of the feedback items from the meeting with the board, they conducted that from January to March. All right, January to March. And they were asking individuals questions, how are we doing? What more do you want to see? And one of the things that came up, and I don't like standing on this thing, one of the things that came up was individuals were saying that they want more spiritual applications in the talk. And I have an alter ego. It's a gay boy. And he's very petty. And I have to keep him on a leash. And he's like, obviously they weren't hearing the talks. And I'm like, Chauncey, shut up. I'm like, get a grip. And in theory, it's my own ego, but I like to call him Chauncey. So I decided that today we're going to talk about how to use daily application of our principles, how we can take those things home and apply them in our lives. And one of the powerful practices is setting your intentions every day by declaring to yourself, to the law, what you intend to experience for your day. Say you got a job interview, for your goals. And you do this through affirmations. And I'm going to share a story with you. My goddaughter graduated from a 2-year university. She got picked up for a 4-year college, the University of South Carolina. So my wife and I went to South Carolina at the beginning of May. And what we do it all the time, but anytime we go on a vacation, we start to affirm. We affirm what we want to experience, how we want to be treated, how we plan on encountering with the customer service, the waiters, the waitresses, everybody, the hotel, everybody we meet in the elevator. We affirm that which we choose to experience. And it's a wonderful thing because sometimes before we leave the hotel room, we start saying, okay, everybody that we meet is filled with the power and the presence of the living Spirit. And they recognize that within us, right? And then she'll say something, and then I'll say something. And it's a beautiful banter that we have. And we go, yes, and so it is. And we walk forth, and then we look, and we expect. And when we do see it, we like, look at God. Look at God showing up and showing out. So we did that the entire weekend. So Monday, I think, Cinco de Mayo, we flew home. But on the 4th, we decided to go to this place and play putt-putt golf, right? Which I'm not good at. And I was sucking at it badly. I was like, Anyway, to make a long story short, I was intending earlier that day that our flight would be filled with ease and grace, all those things. No hassle in the airport, no long lines. And I signed up for text messages with the airline, and I got one. So while I'm doing the putt-putt, I had my AirPods in, and I heard a little ding. So I went to check, and it says your flight was delayed. And then I looked really close at what time my flight was supposed to take off and what time it was about to take off now. Well, my flight was supposed to take off at 5:45 a.m. I didn't sign up for 5:45 a.m. I thought I signed up for 5:45 p.m. Now, the flight is delayed, right, for 6:07 a.m. Still not very good, right? But it says, if this has impacted you in any way, call us. I'm like, girl, put them clubs down. Drink that beer. We got to go. She was like, I'm calling, right? So I'm on the phone, and I'm calling them, and I finally get through. And I was like, my flight's been delayed. You said to call. Yes, let me check. Blah, blah. Yes, your flight. How can we help you? I said, can I get a flight? I saw these two. These are the numbers. Either one of those would work just fine for me. They was like, oh, those are later in the afternoon. I said, yes, being that I couldn't get there early in the morning when I wanted to, it doesn't matter now. I just want to take my time now. Yes, ma'am, we're hooking you up, blah, blah, blah. Here's your new flight number. Here's your, can you give me seat assignments? Yes, ma'am, got your seat assignments. And they hooked us up. And Rachel was like, done? I said, done. She said, look at God. And so that's just an example of what happens when you affirm nothing but goodness and blessings all the day of your life, okay? You make your declaration. So, where was I? I got carried away with that story. So, yes. Now, I want to share something with you that Ernest Holmes said, the founder of the Science of Mind philosophy. And in the Science of Mind text, he has given us so many wonderful affirmations. They're a little long, some of them. Like, when we do an affirmation, we'll say, I know that I'm divinely protected and guided and all that, and usually that's where it ends. This man right here, he gives you wonderful paragraphs of affirmations. And this one says, today in this moment, the law responds to my thought. My word is one of affirmation, rising from the knowledge that the good, the enduring, the true are eternalities in my experience. I cannot be apart from that which is my good. My good is assured me by God, the indwelling essence of my life. Is that not beautiful? Yes. Oh my goodness, he's pure poetry. I love this man. To change our mind through affirmation of spiritual truth is truly a profound and transformational process. It involves aligning our thoughts and beliefs with principles that uplift and inspire, creating a foundation for inner peace, growth, and clarity. This practice draws upon ageless wisdom, psychological insights, and the power of intention to enact meaningful change within oneself. However, I have had individuals tell me that affirmations and other spiritual practices do not work for them. And I have to tell Chauncey to shut up. And through my years of observation and research, I have noted several reasons why it doesn't work for certain individuals, whether they are members for a long time or newcomers to this philosophy. The reason it is not working is because they truly haven't grasped the importance of how their own thoughts work through the power of their mind, which is ever connected to the creative force of spirit. Or they haven't given the spiritual practice enough time to bring about a manifestation in their life. You see, the science of mind practices and principles are not a quick new age law of attraction gimmick. It is not. It is ageless wisdom that is tried and true, but you must work it for it to work. Johnny Coleman says you've got to work it in order that it works. There are some that want a quick way to change their life circumstances. One reason is that our world that we live in now, we have grown so accustomed to instant gratification. So accustomed. Like the babies, when I saw them, I have the oldest goddaughter, but she had 2 siblings, and they want the phones. I'm like, give me my phone back, right? They're all through my pictures, all through my Facebook, making googly-goo texts. I'm like, no. But they're stuck in that. And I watch them, and I observe them. But I also watch us, and I observe us. We're doing the same thing. I'm guilty, and I try not to be. We want instant gratification. So the sometimes slow and gradual nature of spiritual growth can discourage individuals. It is similar to weightlifting. 1 week of weightlifting a bodybuilder does not make. It does not make. There are some that approach spiritual practices with misconceptions and unrealistic expectations. They are looking for immediate results to their problems. They want unwavering peace or to be granted supernatural experiences, usually by putting in the least amount of effort. Or they want outward change, but not willing to work on themselves. Affirmations, meditation, affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment, or visioning can take time to affect one's way of thinking and being. And this happens through consistent and sincere practice. Now, it doesn't have to take a long time. There has been instantaneous demonstrations, yet I will remind you we must understand that we are all subjective to the law of the creative process, which means our thought is akin to a seed planted, which is planted in the soil of the universal law, which is the law of God. And when watered with faith and conviction, then an actual demonstration comes forth, just as a plant springs forth from a seed. Tell you another story. My wife has this weird way of yelling when she gets excited. And I'm like, what? What do I got to stamp on? What do I got to... I'm thinking it's a roach, a snake, something. I'm like, don't yell. But I'm excited. She said, look. And I'm like, what am I looking at? It's like these itty-bitty little seed leaves. They were carrots that sprung forth. She has 3 vegetable beds full of things. If you name a vegetable, I probably would say, yep, it's in there. There it is. She got so excited over these little carrots that I could barely see. But just like that seed she planted in the dirt 2 weeks ago, however long, it takes the soil of the universal law to bring forth a manifestation, a demonstration, a carrot. The creative process will only give you what you planted. If you planted thoughts of abundance, health, and self-esteem, that is what you will yield. If you plant or have planted thoughts of lack, fear, doubt, not enoughness, then that is what you will bring forth. Your spiritual practices or the lack thereof guides this entire process. Now, I know it is a natural human characteristic to resist change to our regular daily habits. And sometimes self-awareness can make us feel vulnerable, especially when we have to acknowledge the state of our mental and spiritual garden if it is overrun with weeds of negativity. Starting a practice requires us to change our daily routine, change the way we think. It requires consistency. You will not get any spiritual fortitude or enlightenment by osmosis. It's not going to happen because you're already endowed with divine intelligence. You just got to work it. Oftentimes we seek a change because we can no longer continue business as usual. It could be because of a crisis of some sort, trauma, loss, disease, a madman disrupting democracy or civil rights. Yet, one of those things. And when a crisis does arise, that's when we realize that our faith and spirit does not run deep enough because our spiritual practices have been shallow or non-existent. I know that has nothing to do with any of us here. When a builder builds a house, they don't start with the roof. They start by laying the foundation. And so the foundation of the science of mind always starts with the verity that there is but one power in the universe, and it is greater than we are, and we can use it. Why? Because we are one with this power. We are one with spirit. But we lack demonstration because we are not convinced of this premise. We are not convinced that this omnipresent power will respond to us and that we are one with it. And we do not practice to have a greater realization of its presence in our lives. Because if we did, then we could say with the psalmist, we can say with the psalmist. That's not what we're going to say. But that's okay. Therefore, we will not fear. Though the earth be removed, and though the mountain crumbles in the midst of the sea. Can we say that the Lord, the universal law, is our shepherd and you shall not want? Can you say they cannot come nigh my dwelling place and be convinced of that? Can you say that my abundance and my substance is not required of any outside force but the Spirit of the living God? And can you stand in that truth when your bank account doesn't reflect that? Can you say that? Why? Because the spiritual practices that led the foundation that you laid tells you that the divine I am is within you. Now, here, the science of mind tells us somehow there must come to each individual an interior conviction that we are one with the universe, and that spirit flows through us at the level of our recognition and embodiment of it. It is because of this embodiment that we bring forth demonstration. It can only do for us what it can do through us, and it will always depend on your level of recognition and embodiment of this divine intelligence. The spiritual mind treatment has 5 steps, and the first one is recognition. Recognition. The second one is unification. Recognizing that God is all that there is and you are unified or one with it. And so we have our spiritual practices, and they are coupled with the elements of belief, faith, acceptance, and conviction. These four things play a vital role in the practical application of our philosophy. As we practice anything, we build up our belief muscle in the ability to do a thing. Ernest Holmes tells us that what is this? This is my fault because this is the order I sent them in. Okay. We said that. There we go. We cannot recognize that it is, that spirit is, that God is. You don't like those words? The universe is, that reality is. Ernest Holmes called it the thing itself. You can call it whatever you want. We cannot recognize that it is while we are believing that it is not. Hence, it is written, they entered not into abundance, not into better health, not into love and better relationships. They entered not into these things because of unbelief. Therefore, our belief sets the limits of our demonstration of a principle which of itself is without limit. God, you cannot limit. But do you believe in the premise that you are one with it? It is ready to fill everything. Do you hear me? Because it's infinite. So it's not a question of its willingness, nor of its ability. It is entirely a question of our own receptivity. That's powerful, people. Of our own receptivity. If then we are new to this philosophy, the words we hear at service are just information. We might be inspired by that information. We might like that information. But that's all it is because we haven't established a foundation to lay it out on. If we come back and learn more, maybe take a class here or there, then that information becomes knowledge. Then if we are willing to take that knowledge and apply it through our spiritual practices, it becomes wisdom and a way of life. A way of life. And that is how a daily practical application of spiritual principles happen. Ernest Holmes says on the cover of the book, The Science of Mind, a Religion, a Philosophy, a Way of Life. You might say, well, yeah, but I tried, Reverend Jean, to affirm and do all the different types of spiritual practices, and my life hasn't gotten any better, girl. The things I wish to bring forth in my life as manifestations, they haven't happened. It's not working for me. Okay. Or is it just that you're not working it? Or is it not working fast enough for you? Remember, every thought that has developed into a thought pattern in your subconscious mind is akin to a daily broadcasting signal that tells the universe what it is that you believe. This is the truth I have accepted for myself, good, bad, or indifferent. This is the level of recognition of divine intelligence that I have in this now moment. What is it that you say you believe? What is it? And who do you say you are? The scripture tells us that it is done unto us as we believe, to the degree that we believe. Not only are we broadcasting, but we are also receivers of that which we have broadcasted. We are receivers. Everything we have mentally cast out onto the screen of the universe is caught and it finds its way back to us in some form of manifestation or continual life experience. It's like a boomerang. Everything you have mentally believed about yourself, what you believe you can or cannot have, all the concepts that have been impressed upon your subconscious mind shows up as the running narrative of your life experience. Now, that may be a grim thought for some folks, but fear not. I hope this is the right slide. That's not the right slide. Take it back. Okay. It's not a question. Remember, it's not a question of its willingness or its ability. It's entirely a question of our own receptivity. So when you begin to truly believe that Spirit can do for you what you are intending for your life, the affirmations you do today, the truth that you accept for yourself today will begin to mitigate, replace, dissipate the things that you have sent forth in your yesterdays. As you affirm a new truth about your experience, you begin to set up a spiritual force field. Reverend David said last Sunday, may the force be with you, right? Because it was the 4th of May, right? May the force be with you, right? You got your own spiritual force field, and that's what spiritual practices do for you. But remember, you're a broadcasting system. So don't think those things are not going to come back and hit you upside the head, because they will. But what you affirm today dissipates, weakens, dissolves the energy thereof. And the more you do that, the more you come into the realization there's a power in this universe that's greater than I am, and I can use it. All those things are now denied entry, for they no longer have the passcode. They are no longer in alignment with who you have come to be. And I will tell you, the power has already been given to you. I always like that. I love the master teacher, Jesus. He's cool, all right? And he says cool stuff, be going over people's head all the time. He says, all power in heaven and in earth has been given unto me. All power in heaven, in consciousness, and on earth, in the realm of effect, has been given unto me. That's powerful. You have to be diligent in changing that which you have accepted, which has already been accepted by your subconscious mind. And it doesn't mean that you do your affirmations in the morning and go around negating everything you have affirmed the rest of the day by being judgmental, by being petty, by being mean-spirited. Girl, I don't know what you're looking at. You better get away from me. Or continuing to think in the old belief patterns, or looking for evidence that your affirmations are not working. No, look for the fact that they are working. Affirm expectations. You should always have expectations of the thing that you declare will be the truth in your life. Don't be Chauncey. Chauncey is rude and negative. I'd be like, ooh, because if you are doing that, if you're negating your affirmation, nothing will ever change in your life. And yes, you will come to me and say, my affirmations don't work. My spiritual mind treatments don't work. Yeah, I believe you. You carry your mental atmosphere everywhere you go. Remember, change your thoughts, change your life means change the way you behold all things. For all is God, all is divine, all possess the divine I am spirit within them. Bless their hearts. Because we can see that sometimes people out there do not know who they are or whose they are. But that doesn't let you off the hook of affirming a greater truth about them, about yourself, and about every moment and every minute of the day. That's your job. You are responsible for what lives rent-free in your mind. And what does live there impresses upon your subconscious mind and becomes the reality of your life. You are responsible for the renewing of your mind through the spiritual practice and communing with the divine I am presence within. Now, I implore you to raise your voice with affirmation. Affirmations are positive declarations that assert a truth or intention. I know I've been talking a lot, and so I want to get to this point. These are the things that I want to leave you with. And I'm going to talk more about this in class this afternoon. Step 1, identify the spiritual principles that resonate deeply with you. You can open up your Science of Mind text and find one of 1,000 of the affirmations by Ernest Holmes. You can use the Bible. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The law, the universal law is my shepherd, I shall not want. You can find anything that resonates with you and you make up your own. Journal. Use that. Reflect on its meaning. Don't say divine protection and guidance is mine, but you don't know what divinity is all about. You don't know how that you are divine. You don't know about the divinity of spirit that lives within you. You don't understand what you're saying. It's not going to do you any good. So reflect on its meaning. Create a sacred space for affirmation, right? It should be calm. It should be quiet. Because eventually what's going to happen, everywhere you go will become sacred. My car is sacred to me. I do spiritual mind treatments. I do affirmations. I pray for everybody and everyone on the road, especially when they don't seem to be driving in a cohesive manner. Ooh, bless their hearts, Spirit of the living God. Bless them now. And let them get there safe. And I do mean that. It needs to be authentic. Speak and visualize the truth. Speak it out loud. You can speak it within too when it's not appropriate to speak it out. But raise your voice. Fortunately, I live in a house with another Science of Mind practitioner, right? They speak their truth and I speak my truth. Sometimes I'm like, what is she talking about? Oh, she's doing her affirmations. Okay. I'm like, okay, girl, you go on. All right. And then she'd be like, oh, I thought you were on I didn't know what you were saying, right? But that's the environment that you live in when you can say what you want to say and praise God in your own house and you're not being looked at out the side of your eye like you're crazy. Raise your voice. Raise your voice, right? And declare your truth. Practice repetition and consistency. Your spiritual practices have to be repeated on a daily basis. When I first entered into this philosophy, my ego was so loud, and I'm not talking about ego in overconfidence, I'm just talking about being cautious. You know, your ego protects you. You need your ego. It does keep you from doing silly stuff, especially if your frontal lobe hasn't developed. So it's needed, but it also needs to know its place. Right? And I have an analytical mind. I want to put everything in a box. Everything has to be categorized. Everything has to be judged. Everything has to be labeled. And I'm like, ooh, this chatter, though. So I found me an affirmation that worked. It was simple, and it made sense. God is greater. And God is all that there is. And it worked. It quieted it down. So find and raise your voice, but it has to be repetitive and consistent. Now embody that affirmation. James said, faith without works are dead. Faith without works are dead. Embody the thing which you want to see manifested in your life. Move towards your goal, right? Move towards health and well-being. Move towards abundance and expect to see it in your life. And cultivate patience and trust and perseverance, right? You got to plant the seed in the universal soil. You got to give that soil time because the entire universe has gotten its order from you. And it starts to conspire. And it's got to make its round back to you. And once it starts to conspire, it springs up in your life as a demonstration. Practitioners, will you please come forth? So I want you to remember everything that I said today. I want you to know that you are loved. Your spiritual practices will open up a life for you that you won't even recognize yourself if you do them consistency. So come within with me. Close your eyes, shut out the world of effect, and know that there is but one power, one source, one substance, the living Spirit Almighty, and it is back of all creation. Know that I am, and everyone that is within the sound of my voice is filled with this power and presence, and you and I can use it. So therefore, I know and I declare in this now moment a greater expression of wholeness for the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta and all of its members, all of its friends, all of its visitors. A greater expression of love, all the verities of spirits, the attributes of spirits, of love, of power, of abundance, of truth, of beauty, of joy is already an established fact in the mind of God. And I know this springs forth because there is nothing to heal. There's only the truth to be revealed that Spirit is already there. And so as we know this truth, as we embrace this truth and recognize it as the truth of our lives, of the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, we sit back in joyous repose with great expectancy for good things to come upon this center and everyone within the sound of my voice. For this, I am grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak these truths, for I know that Spirit hears me and hears me always. I released it into the law because it always does its right and perfect work. And I ask you to join me in sealing this treatment by saying, and so it is. And so it is, SLCA. Thank you.
We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone. Everyone, everyone.
Family, join us in the social hall for food and fellowship now.
Yeah.